So my name is Thomas. I am a husband, a father, a certified flight instructor, and I own a flight school here in Rexburg, Idaho. So I first started thinking about flight school after I returned home from my mission. I didn't have much of an idea what I wanted to do. I have two older brothers who are airline pilots, and they kind of told me, hey, give it a shot, try flying an airplane. And I was working at a job doing collections, and that was terrible. I got in an airplane, and that was awesome. But something that always amazed me about flying was the parallels of God's creation in seeing it from another perspective, from an eagle's eye view. When you're up in the sky, you get to see so much more of the world around you than you do when you're on the ground. It was just another reason for me to continue this path of becoming a pilot. Towards the end of December, right after Christmas, an airplane has an annual inspection, an inspection that must be done every year. If you pass that inspection, you then have to get a waiver to fly it, which isn't a big deal. However, in my arrogance, I didn't want to get the waiver. I wanted to get the airplane to the mechanic. The mechanic that we had scheduled to do the maintenance on the aircraft was in Driggs. And I only had 2 days to get this airplane to Driggs, and the weather was just constantly overcast, snowing, hit or miss snowing. But it was like the second to last day of December of this last year. And I could see the mountains going towards Driggs, and I could see that the weather reports on the way to Driggs were all clear. So I decided to take the flight and get the aircraft over to the Driggs airport. Interestingly enough, there's a gentleman at the airport who, before I got into the airplane, said, and who knows why he said this to me, but he just simply said, remember IFR, which in airplane world that means instrument flight rules, which usually means you're going to go into the clouds. And so I was like, IFR, what do you mean? And he said, I follow roads. So don't forget to follow a road. It's like, okay, cool. So I took off and started headed towards Driggs. It's roughly a 30 to 40 minute flight in the smaller airplanes. So I start to fly out there, and the thought came to my mind, get over the road. You're going to want to be over the road. So I went over to the highway that heads out towards Driggs and started to fly over. Within about 10 to 15 minutes, I'm about at the halfway point towards Driggs. I can no longer see the mountains. And so I'm thinking, okay, it doesn't look too great in front of me. I can see far, so I'm still legally and safe in this aspect. And I thought, well, maybe I should just head back. I'll try again tomorrow. I start to turn the aircraft and look back. It looks really bad back. I can no longer see Sugar City, which I was just over 5 minutes before. So I'm like, okay, well, that's not good. So I'm going to keep heading towards Driggs because it looks a little better headed towards the east. And so I'm heading towards over this highway. It is starting to get, the cloud layer is starting to get lower and lower. And Driggs is a higher elevation, so the ground level is getting higher and higher. So now I'm stuck in between clouds in freezing conditions. If I go into these clouds, my wings will ice, and potentially I will die. The aircraft will no longer be able to produce lift. It'll have too much weight on it, and the aircraft will go in towards the ground. So I can't go up. If I turn right, it's a snow landscape of farm fields covered in snow, and it looks white down, over, and up. Everything is white. If I look left, everything is white. And all I have underneath me is the road, the highway. And the clouds are getting lower, so I'm having to go lower, and I'm getting lower and lower and lower to the ground. At this point, I'm roughly 400 feet off the ground. And I don't know for sure because the landscape is going up and down, and I'm flying, and I'm trying to stay out of this cloud that I can see is right above me. As I'm getting farther and farther towards Driggs, my visibility of distance-wise is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. I'm now at maybe a mile of visibility before it's whiteness in front of me. So it's all white. I have this teeny road underneath me and power lines, and I'm going, and at this point, panic is starting to set in because, again, this isn't, it's no longer a game. It's no longer fun. It is life and death. And the ice, if I fly into the clouds, in a matter of seconds, will build on the aircraft. It's not a gradual thing. It will happen very, very quickly. And I'm wigging out. I'm freaking out. And I have this guy's thought in my mind, stay over this road, you will be okay. Stay over this road, you will be all right if you just stay right on top of this road. And I just say the world's fastest prayer. Heavenly Father, help me here. I don't know what to do, and I'm stuck. So please help me. Within 10 seconds after I say amen, the beam of light comes through the fog, because the fog just ends and I'm out of the fog, and there's about a mile long and maybe a quarter mile wide gap in the cloud. And I'm able to land within 10 minutes after I land. The airport is completely covered in fog. And I would not have been able to land. When the light came down, it was like the biggest joy, and I yelled like, yeah! And I hit the throttle, and it's this joy, pure joy of, safety is here. Comfort is here. I'm safe and I'm alive. I'm going to be able to get out of here, and everything is going to be okay. Flying above those clouds on my way to Driggs was the biggest testimony that Jesus lives. That our Heavenly Father loves us. It doesn't matter where we are, Heavenly Father is watching out for us and looking over us and wants us to get to our destination.